What's up, everybody? Wild Whiskey Wolf, and today we are going to be doing a full mod walkthrough of all the mods I've done to this 2019 ZX10R KRT edition. So we're going to start from the front to the back. So you can see the tires are different from stock. The stock tires that come on the ZX10R are Bridgestone RS10s, and I changed them to Pirelli Supercourses. The RS10s are great tires. The only reason I changed them is the fact that they wore down. So I love Pirellis, so that's the tire that I chose to switch to. Nothing wrong with the Bridgestone RS10s. Let's see, I changed the lights to Philips Diamond Vision bulbs. It's a direct swap bulb. You can get them at Walmart, Target, anything like that, AutoZone. And all it does is it changes the stock bulb, which is a yellowish tint, to a little bit brighter bluish white tint. I like that light at the night better. Some people like the yellowish tint better. It's just a personal preference. So yeah, let's see, the next mod we got the zero gravity Corsa windscreen. The Corsa windscreen I like a lot. It has a taller profile than the stock windscreen. So basically, if we look at it from the side, you can see that profile right there. It's pretty tall. So that's why I like it. I'm a taller, larger profile rider, so that works out for me. For some people, the stock windscreen might work just fine, but if you're in full tuck, even if you're on the smaller side, that stock windscreen, it's a lot harder to get into full tuck and still get that good aerodynamics that you can get with a windscreen like the Corsa, since it has that taller profile. So I highly recommend that. I also took off the reflectors that are on the front fender. There's some yellow reflectors that come right there, and we went ahead and just took them off. I have no need for them. Some people like them. I don't like how they look. Let's see, we also added the Woodcraft frame sliders. I have a whole video explaining why domed frame sliders, which Woodcraft makes, they're the only ones that make them, are a superior shaped frame slider to other frame sliders out there. So link is in the description, check it out. I'm not going to get into detail about them, but we got the Woodcraft frame sliders. I added GB Racing engine protection kit. And that basically just keeps the engine casing from getting cracked if anything happens. So I went with GB Racing because they're highly recommended, and they've been highly recommended for a while. Let's see, there's a company called Bestem, and I changed the stock heel guard, which is a silver color, to these carbon fiber heel guards. I think that it just adds a nice little touch to the bike, and they're super cheap. I think they're only like 20-25 bucks. So yeah, I went with the carbon fiber heel guards. You can't see it, but we got a Sprint P08 filter in there. The Sprint filters just help get more airflow into the engine. We also have a Fast by Few ECU flash and airbox mod. On top of the tank here, we have a Driven Racing fuel cap. And the reason I like these a lot is when you're at the gas station and you're gassing up, you don't have to take your key out every time to gas up. You know, you just twist that top cap and you're good to go. And it's all black, it looks nice. Driven Racing makes great products, American company. I like it a lot, so I went with the Driven Racing fuel cap. Up front we have the GPR manual steering damper. And the reason I went with that is anyone who has a ZX10 knows that you get those head shakes. Even when you're leaned all the way over the bike, that front end wants to come up because it just has so much power. So I went with the GPR. That helped reduce a lot of those head shakes, and I can dial in the damper system to exactly the right setting that I want. Whereas with the stock electronic system, you cannot do that. It's not adjustable, and it really doesn't do much at all. So I went with the GPR. I like it a lot. It's a personal preference. Some people like the stock system. Some people like other systems out there. I know you can actually get the stock system revalved by certain companies. There's also, I believe, a race, an Olin's race damper system that you can get for this bike as well, which is adjustable. So there's different options out there. I went with the GPR. I love it. And yeah, so next mod, let's see. Oh, we have the Woodcraft front axle sliders. I love the Woodcraft products, especially for slider kits. So basically these sliders, they just attach to a screw that you get from Woodcraft, which replaces the stock axle screw. And then you have this little small silver screw, you can see it, that goes through the slider, and it just sticks in there, and that's what holds it on. So they're very easy to quickly disconnect if you have to do maintenance on the bike, unlike other slider kits out there that require a lot more to get them on and off. Woodcraft is straightforward, just that pin right in there, you just pull it out and they come right out. So that's why I like them a lot. Woodcraft also makes great products, another American company, so I went with them. And we also have the Woodcraft spools on the back, which do add a little bit of protection, but they're mostly just there to lift the bike off the ground. If you want to actually get the rear axle sliders, they actually go on the back where the axle is. The spools do add some protection, but mostly just for maintenance, lifting up the bike, etc. So next mod we have is on the rear. We have the TST Industries Fender Delete Kit and the TST Industries 9 programmable rear taillight, and it's smoked out. I like that smoked out look. And also what you get, wow, it's actually kind of dirty. What you get with that delete kit is you get this plate that screws into the rear of the ZX10, and it just makes the back look nice and clean for when you delete that tail piece, that big ugly tail piece that comes on the bike from the factory. I went with the TST programmable rear taillight because they make great products. I've gotten products from them before, and also because it has 9 programmable modes. So basically you are able to change the rate at which the turn signal flashes, the brake lights come on. You're able to change all that very easily. There's a little button on the back wire, and you just press it and it switches between all different 9 modes. Also, it has a fancy little turn signal that I'll show you here right now. Let's turn on the bike, turn that turn signal on. So as you can see here, the turn signal has that cool kind of flashing wave-like look to it, which I really like, and it gets people's attention more. So that's why I went with the TST Industries smoke taillight. Also on the tank here, we have the Tech Spec X-Line tank grips. So the X-Line is a little bit different material than most tank grips. I like it a lot. It doesn't dig into your jeans. It's much grippier than other tank grip styles out there. It's not affected by water or oil or any kind of liquid. Does not make it less grippy, which some other tank grips out there are affected by the elements. So these are really nice. I like them a lot. Some people don't like tank grips. I like tank grips because it gives me that extra grip when I'm going through a turn, helps my knees lock into the tank, and also when you are applying brake pressure, it keeps you from basically sliding forward into the tank. It makes it a lot easier to kind of just hold your body position in place, and I like that a lot. It gives me a lot more confidence and comfort on the bike. So if you're looking for tank grips, I highly recommend the Tech Spec X-Line tank grips. Also, you can't see it, but underneath the seat here we have the Speed Cell race battery. I have a whole video on that as well, so I'll put the link to that in the description, all about race batteries and why I believe it is an excellent upgrade. So you can check that out below, but that's another mod we have. But that's it so far, so make sure you drop a like, drop a comment for me, let me know what you think, and go ahead and click subscribe to the channel so you can stay in tune for future updates that we got.